This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Big Time here with a Big Time video game review of WWE 2K24 Showcase, the showcase of the Immortals, the showcase in the newest game where we go over 40 years of WrestleMania, dating all the way back to WrestleMania 3, actually. And we're going to talk about everything that went down in this. I have just completed the showcase mode, and for me, it was really good. Some of it, if you remember when they did this before, some of it is a little rehashed, but brought up to date, looking a little bit better than it was then. But it was an awesome time going through all 22 of these different matches from different eras and different time zones in the world of professional wrestling. It was a journey. It was a trip. There was some great moments, and there was a couple moments that I really enjoyed, and in the end was about the only match that really gave me some struggle. Otherwise, it was an easy playthrough. Follow their directions, depending on the level of adversity you want. If you have it on easy, normal, hard, or legend, how you get through it is up to you. But overall, it's a fun gameplay. It's a fun playthrough. Corey Graves is the narrator for this event with feeds from Hulk Hogan, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Austin. They break in, giving a little background to some of these matches, giving a little history. It was a great story within there, and Corey Graves being the storyteller was awesome. We opened in 1987 with WrestleMania 3 with one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all times. And for many, it will be the greatest WrestleMania match of all times. One of the greatest matches in professional wrestling, period. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Macho Man Randy Savage go one-on-one for the Intercontinental Champion, Miss Elizabeth in the corner of Randy Savage, and George the Animal Steel out there with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This was a fun playthrough. A lot of history there, and we started with WrestleMania. The very next match was still 1987 at WrestleMania 3, and the most infamous match in wrestling history, one of the most infamous matches in WrestleMania history. It was the Slam World around the world. It was boasted as the largest attended crowd indoors at the time. It was in Detroit. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the night Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. You got to play through Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant again. Bobby the Brain Heenan at ringside. Nice to see him in the game as somewhat of a playable character, at least as a manager. That was a great playthrough, as it has always been. We had these two, I believe, in the last time they did this. This was a little better updated. Hogan giving a little reference and background, and some of this, Corey Graves giving a great story, too. Then we went to 1989 and WrestleMania 5. The first match was the Ultimate Warrior defending his Intercontinental Championship against the Ravishing Rick Rude. Ravishing Rick Rude, of course, had Bobby Heenan in his corner. This was the night that the Warrior got screwed out of the Intercontinental title thanks to Bobby the Brain Heenan. This was a great playthrough. Very fun. Very good. In the first one, you get to play as Steamboat. Then you play as Hogan. This one, you get to play as Ravishing Rick Rude. Lots of fun. From there, we stay in 1989 and WrestleMania 5 as the Mega Powers exploded. This is another playthrough with Hulk Hogan. A little storyline from Hogan telling you about this match, and you get to relive the explosion of the Mega Powers of the Macho Man Randy Savage, World Heavyweight Champion, defending his title against Hulk Hogan, who would go on to win the match. Great playthrough, very fun match, historically, very good. So, I mean, if you like the old history stuff, definitely a lot of video packages that make it really awesome. From there, we jump to 1990 in WrestleMania 6, live from Toronto, when Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior meet head-to-head, when both titles for the first time have ever gone on the line. The World Heavyweight Championship was on the line. The Intercontinental Championship was on the line. The Ultimate Warrior would eventually go on to be the first man to hold both belts at the same time. You get to play as the Ultimate Warrior in this playthrough. Lots of fun stuff. Get to go through. The Warrior's face paint fades away during this match, which is really awesome. Staying with it, lots of great video packaging playing through. From there, we jump to 1992 in WrestleMania 8, when we take on one of the greatest Intercontinental title matches in another great WrestleMania match. These two men brought it. The Hot Rod, Roddy Piper, takes on longtime friend and family member, as he would say, the Hitman, the excellence of execution, the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be, and Bret the Hitman Hart. You get to play as the Hitman through this one, and it's a great storytelling. It's a great moment. Lots of fun getting to play the Hitman role in this. Lots of flashbacks to WrestleMania 8. WrestleMania 8 not considered one of the better WrestleManias, but this match was a really, really good match. It was a highlight of the night and probably stole this pay-per-view. Maybe I need to do a flashback review of WrestleMania 8. If you're interested in that, let me know. But WrestleMania 8, Roddy Piper defending the Intercontinental Championship against Bret the Hitman Hart. Then, in what should probably be one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all times, from 1994, we jump to WrestleMania 10, back in Madison Square Gardens, where it all began. It's Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship. If you know the history, Shawn Michaels went out on injury, inactivity. He left for a little bit and then came back after Razor Ramon had been crowned a new Intercontinental Champion, and Shawn Michaels said he was the real champion and Razor was the fake champion, which led to the WrestleMania 10 match for both titles to be hung up above the ring for these two men to go at it. And what a fun match to play this was. You get to play as Razor Ramon throughout this match. You get to play with the ladders. It is a great playthrough. It's fun, the history that's there. The night they say that Shawn Michaels wrestled a ladder, it was an awesome time in wrestling history for that match. So go play that one. That was a great fun play through. Excuse me. From there, we jump to 1997 to WrestleMania 13, one of the most infamous WrestleMania matches, when Bret the Hitman Hart took on Stone Cold Steve Austin in a submission match. And this is the match where you saw a true double turn, where Bret the Hitman Hart would go heel and Steve Austin would become the big babyface. This would be that switch, that change. This was the night that Bret Hart beat an unstoppable Stone Cold Steve Austin, with Ken Shamrock as a special guest referee, special enforcer, as you may want to call it. In the end of this, Austin had been busted open. It's where his face is bleeding as he's locked in the sharpshooter, and Bret Hart won't let go until Austin completely passes out from the pain. And Shamrock has to call it. He pulls Bret Hart off of him, but Bret Hart, after the match, attacks Austin. And it was a really good match. You get to play as Bret Hart again through this playthrough. Very good, solid playthrough. Very much a whole lot of fun. From there, you go to 2001 and WrestleMania 17. The WWE title is on the line. The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And this is one of those infamous matches. Yes, the Vince McMahon character comes into the ring, but Vince McMahon in any video package, his face is blurred out. But this is the night that Austin beat The Rock, and the Devil aligned himself with what many people would call the Devil at the time. From there, we jump to 2004 and WrestleMania 20, where we saw a wrestling clinic, a wrestling classic, when Eddie Guerrero defended his title against Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. This was an amazing match. Lots of back and forth. Angle got to dominate this match. You get to play as Eddie Guerrero. You get to remember how he untied his shoe. Kurt Angle locked on an ankle lock, and then Eddie Guerrero getting the win. Lots of fun playing this through. Next one, you go to 2005, WrestleMania 21. We talk about Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle and their rivalry that built to this great match. You get to play as Kurt Angle in this playthrough, which was hard for me as a Shawn Michaels fan. But lots of fun in this one. Then, of course, we jump to 2009, WrestleMania 25. When you talk about WrestleMania 25, there's one match that lives up to all the hype. One match that's down in the wrestling history books as one of the greatest. When you talk about Steamboat Savage being one of the greatest matches, Piper Hart winning one of the greatest matches, Hart and Austin, Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels in a ladder match. You get to this match, and you have Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, the first one of their back-to-back meetings at WrestleMania. And this is a great playthrough. You get to play with The Undertaker. You get the entrance aspects of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and lots of great stuff here. From there, we jump up 5 years to 2014 to WrestleMania 30, and you would think this would be a fun one. Not really, because this was the Brock Lesnar versus Taker match. You get to play as Brock Lesnar and end the infamous streak of The Undertaker, which is a hard playthrough because you never want to see the end of the streak of The Undertaker, but it is what you get to play. You get to play as Lesnar, dominating The Undertaker and taking him through the works as you win at WrestleMania 30. From there, we go to 2015. We go to WrestleMania 31. We go to the next year. First, you get to play Rollins and Orton. You get to play through that great match. Orton and Rollins brought us a great match, especially at the end where Rollins went for that curb stomp, launched himself off the head of Orton, and then Orton wound up getting up and hitting him with an RKO. The next one, you still stay in 2015 at WrestleMania 31. You get to start off as Brock Lesnar beating down Roman Reigns, and then, of course, as everybody's beating down, Seth Rollins comes out, and then you get to play as Rollins briefly as he cashes in the Money in the Bank and steals what was the greatest cash-in wrestling history. From there, we jump to 2019 to WrestleMania 35. We get our first main women's match as we play the WrestleMania 35 main event, where Ronda Rousey took on Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch for both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. You get to play as Becky Lynch for this match, and it is a beautiful, fun time getting to relive this main event match from WrestleMania 35. Next match was probably the hardest match to play through. It was an emotional one. The memories. This was a fun match to play through. Relive the history of it all. We go to WrestleMania 36. This was a time in 2020 when we have to have the show at the Performance Center, and this was your Firefly Funhouse match. John Cena versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and they had the whole video package there. You played through it. You got to be Bray Wyatt. You relived all the fun moments that existed there. You got Bray Wyatt. You got Muscle Bray Wyatt. You got NWO Bray Wyatt. It was a fun playthrough, and then you got The Fiend. It was a little emotional remembering Bray Wyatt and how great this match and this story and everything that went into this to make this so awesome was. It was one of the harder ones to play through, just because it was just reliving that history and wishing Bray Wyatt was still with us today. But what a fun playthrough. I'm glad they put this in here, and what a great match it was. From there, we jump to WrestleMania 38, and we're in 2022, and we get a nostalgia match here. So we get to play as Steve Austin and as he takes on KO at WrestleMania 38. This was a fun match between KO and Steve Austin. It was a fun match to watch, and it was an enjoyable time to play through it. From there, we go to WrestleMania 2023, we go to WrestleMania 39, and it's 2023. You get to play the the SmackDown Championship match of Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Ripley not ever beaten Flair before, and then the great night that this happened. This is last year's WrestleMania. You get to play Ripley and Flair. Lots of fun to get to play as Mommy. You get to play as Rhea, dominating Flair. From there, we go to WrestleMania. We stay with WrestleMania 39 and 2023. You get to play Asuka versus Belair. You play as Bianca Belair through this playthrough. Lots of fun there. And then, of course, the final main match in the whole showcase here. There's one more match after this, but the main storyline of the showcase is you get to stay with WrestleMania 39. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. As Cody Rhodes get to finish the story, you play Roman Reigns throughout this story. You have the story that plays out. You have Solo getting kicked out of the ring, the Usos coming down and interfering, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming and taking out the Usos, and then Solo Sikoa costing you in the end. It's a fun match to play through, reliving that history. And finally, the main match is an Immortal Royal Rumble at WrestleMania 10, where you get to pick from all the legends of wrestling, WrestleManias, all the wrestlers that were here for the man. You get to pick who you want, and you go through a 30-man battle, a 30-man Royal Rumble at WrestleMania 10 in the WrestleMania 10 arena. This is the only match that got a little difficult at times because they've upped it a little bit. It's not as easy to eliminate the computer as it seems, and so a couple of times I got knocked out of the ring because I was eliminating somebody, and then somebody would run over and hit me, or somebody would be next to me, and I get switched up, and they'd hit me with a finisher and throw me out. It took me a couple of times to get through the run-through, but lots of fun. Once I finally got there and finished it, this is a great story. It was lots of fun. The gameplay's easy. Not a whole lot of glitches at this time. There's a few minor ones that are hit or miss. There's a pain in the butt in the quick changing. You get close to somebody and then you're on them, even though you're trying to fight somebody else. That gets a little bit pain in the butt. Overall, the showcase mode is fun. If you want to relive the history, that's what we have. I think it was excellent. It was a fun time. It's a great game so far in the playthrough of that. I do want to bring you some of the other stuff as I get into it. I will talk about universe mode. We'll talk about the My Rise story. We'll talk about my faction and that aspects and anything else that goes through there. We'll talk about the casket match. We'll talk about the ambulance match. We'll talk about special guest referee matches. But overall, so far, playing the Showcase of the Immortals has been lots of fun. Unlocked a lot of things. It's an awesome playthrough. If you enjoy WWE 2K games, this is probably one of the best in this series of games that we've gotten. It definitely makes up for the last couple of years that it's just been. But what a fun time in this showcase to play through. Corey Graves was an excellent commentator. Again, we got Hogan in there. We got Kurt Angle in there. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin at one point. Seth Rollins in there. We got several people giving us a little history and indulging us in the stories behind the scene. And of course, we got Cody Rhodes that was there briefly having fun with it, and gotta appreciate it. So go check out the showcase. If you haven't bought this game, I would highly recommend. This is the year to buy WWE 2K24. If you want to buy a WWE 2K20 game or 2K game, this is the one to probably buy. This is probably going to be the year that's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more entertaining. Drop your comments in the below. Tell me what you think. If you've played the game, if you played the showcase, tell me what you think of it. Are you going to buy the game? If you haven't, have you bought the game? Are you just not interested in buying the game? Always feel free to share that in the comment section below. I'll be back later with more videos and content, and as I play through, I will bring you new videos about the video game playthrough. But go check out WWE 2K24. Go check out the showcase of the Immortals. Relive history. Relive the story of WrestleMania. And until the next one, I am going to get out of here. La-de-da-de.